how much snow did we get here in West Hartford, Connecticut this year? How did it compare to last year? What did that mean for its residents? These are the topics that I wanted to dive into today. You know, the snow and the weather for most people is one of the cons of West Hartford. So this is one of our worst winters in recent memory in terms of how cold it was, in terms of how much snow we got. So I thought by breaking that down a little, this might help people paint a picture. If this winter was okay for you, or maybe you even enjoyed it, which by the way, I would love to hear from you. If you drop a comment, if the snow and the cold is not a con for you, it's actually a pro. Please put that in the comments. I'd love to. I'd love to hear and get all perspectives on this. I know there's a lot of avid skiers, ice skaters, and this time of year, brings snowshoeing, cross country skiing, right? This time of year certainly brings out some different hobbies if that's your thing. So I'd love to get all perspectives. Drop it in the comments. But for many folks, it is a con, right? It gets dark early. It's cold. Not a lot of people enjoy that going outside, unless of course you're working on some cryotherapy naturally in the outdoors, which the cold weather is great for that. So it can be tough. So I did a little research, and because I wanted to know how much snow we actually got, because it felt like a lot. But let's, everything we do on this channel is evidence based. We want to dive into it and make sure we're looking at real numbers. So the winter's not over. Up until this point, late February, we've gotten somewhere between 53 and 60 inches of snow, which that's a lot of snow. We started December, right? So December, January, February, and under 3 months, 60 inches. That's a lot. 20 inches a month, really. We're averaging or close to it, somewhere in that range. So, I wanted to compare it against last year, right? Last year did not feel, as someone that lives here, last year did not feel this intense. And last year we got around 19 to 21 inches of snow for the entire season. So we've almost tripled that this year, which is why. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, if you're shoveling yourself, it's time, it's energy, right? There's ice out there. You got to be careful. People fall and get hurt. If you're not shoveling, there's cost. You're either paying with time or you're paying with money, right? If you're someone who pays to have your plow built, now you're probably getting triple the expenses at that. A lot of these storms were really heavy. We got a lot of ice that required extra salt, so that stuff can really add up. So your snow removal costs time or money. The heating of your home, because it's been so cold, the heating system has to keep up. The cost of heat, goes up as well, right? So there's expenses that come with the snow, not just it's not just the cold. It's some of the stuff that comes along with it. There's delays to getting to work, and depending on what you do for a living, it might have slowed down your progress with what you're working on, right? It's harder to get places. There's been a lot more school delays. As of this week that I'm creating this video, the kids had 3 days off for snow this week here in town. The week before they had 2 days off for winter break or President's Weekend, and now the very next week we got 3 snow days. So the kids, everybody starts to get a little cabin fever, right, with the weather. So in terms of winters, I don't want to say it can't get worse than this, but to put it in perspective, this is definitely one of the harsher ones. So putting some real numbers behind it, giving everyone an idea of what to expect if you don't live around here, I thought might be helpful as you're preparing to decide what you want to do with your family. From a pure real estate perspective, feel free to watch the market update videos. If you want, drop a comment below. I don't mind sending them to you. But if you watch all of our market updates, the transactions are still happening. Our average list to sell price ratio is still over asking price. So the snow hasn't slowed down the value real estate wise, but it is, it's one of the major cons here, depending on where you're coming from, what part of the country or world. So taking a little bit diver into the numbers, what that actually looked like in town, I thought might help. If you have any questions about real estate here or the town in general, my team and I, we're always happy to help. Don't be shy. Feel free to text, call, email. We're here. Make it a great day.